So I've just done something a bit crazy. Well, it's crazy, but it's fun. I've invested in a project called Pylon Protocol and it's got the token called mine. Sounds complicated, well it is. But in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is and why I've invested in it and just how I've done it. Now I was in two minds about making this video because obviously the last video I made was literally the safest investment you could ever make, and this one is pretty much the opposite. But on reflection, I realised that this channel is actually about me sharing my personal journey and what I'm investing in. So this is both for transparency, and in future videos I'm going to be showing you my passive income, and you might be thinking, what the fiddle is mine and how are you making it and how are you getting this income each month? So here's a quick tutorial on what it is and how to do it. If you're not into crypto, I still think this video will be super cool because it's such a nice way of thinking about money. These guys are really next level with their thinking and what they're trying to do. It is super complicated and it took a long time for me to understand, but once you get your head around it, it's really cool. So today I'm going to try and be the middleman and make it really simple for you guys. It took me hours to figure this out when actually it's not that hard at all. Also remember that $4,000 is only 1.5% of my portfolio. Please don't YOLO this and think it's going to the moon. This is literally money I'm not afraid to lose and I'm doing for fun. And from time to time, I really like to invest in these kind of projects which have got this great potential. I'm not going to lose any sleep over this whichever way it goes. And I also want to say that this video isn't sponsored and I'm not receiving any kind of affiliate income from this, so please don't think I've been paid to promote this crazy project because that's not something I'm willing to do. So what is this crazy Pylon Terra mine thing? Well, I heard about this project a while back, but I watched a video yesterday by Jesse Eckel who did a video all about it, and he's investing in it, and it's a really cool channel if you haven't seen him already. He tries, like me, loads of different ways to make money and documents his journey. So he's definitely worth checking out, and I thought, after watching the video, why not give it a go? I usually don't invest in things like this, but I really like the team behind it and what they're trying to achieve. Now this project is called Pylon Protocol, and it's been created by the team over at Terra, or more widely known in the crypto space as Terra, and they have their own token called Luna. So their blockchain is called Terra, which is essentially the network, their token is called Luna, and the stable coin is called Terra, which is UST, or US Terra, which is essentially one-to-one with the dollar. And this is used on another platform called Anchor, which actually offers you 20% returns on your stable coins. Terra is a really popular company operating out of South Korea, and earlier this year in July, they raised $150 million. Now don't worry if this sounds complicated right now, it's going to get easier as the video goes on, I promise. Now the explosion of DeFi has led to a scramble for a truly decentralized stablecoin that is capable of scaling. Now a stablecoin is essentially a way of holding a dollar to a coin one-to-one. Stablecoin projects like Tether or USDT, known as the first successful stablecoin and is still by far the largest, led to DeFi. But centralization has mired USDT in years of legal trouble. So this project Tether are having a lot of trouble with legal. According to Terra's founder and CEO, Do Kwon, other decentralized stablecoins are capital intensive and have struggled with scalability. Terra USD is now the 5th largest stablecoin with a 2 billion market cap, that's 2 billion invested, and it aims to solve problems. Kwon hopes UST will become the interchain stablecoin of choice. So essentially that's a bit about Terra and what they're trying to do. They're trying to build this stablecoin that can be used across the web and it stays really stable. So with things like other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether, they're going to rocket up and down where this will literally stay the price of a dollar. And that's the point that Bitcoin has to get to in the future to actually be usable. And no one's going to want to put the money in it if it's going up and down and up and down. So Terra is aiming to make something that's way more stable. Now let's talk about the Pylon Protocol. Now the website is Pylon Gateway, deposit to invest, project crowdfunding and token launch platform for Terra powered by the Pylon Protocol. So this is where it gets really interesting. Now they have this thing on here, make lossless investments while accessing all the benefits of being an early investor. Now lossless investments, that seems absolutely crazy. How can you make an investment with no loss? And for people launching a project, they can work on their project while fundraising, receiving consistent payouts via yield. Now that sounds really complicated, but let me just explain exactly what that means. Now some of the wording on some of these things is quite complicated, but it's actually way more simple than it seems. So in a conventional value transfer model, which is essentially just buying something, a seller offers some goods or a service and the buyer pays with money. So while this model works well for immediate one-off transactions, it fails to effectively capture value from transactions over a sustained period of time involving recurring consumption. Now it gives some examples down here of how it would work. So we've got sellers of future value goods, so something like an early stage startup, crowdfunding, initial coin offerings, may not be incentivized to deliver value over time if they receive all of the funds up front. So it will give them consistent funds over time. Now it gives some more examples here, but I think this makes it much more simple. So let's take a look at this. So consider the following that Pylon enables. So instead of paying upfront for a year-long TV subscription, you could make an initial deposit and then continue watching it for the whole year. So instead of paying for things from your favorite artists, things like gig tickets and music, you could deposit a certain amount and receive those for free. So essentially this works really well when you've got something like a subscription service, and let me just demonstrate a bit more clearly how this works. So let's say, for example, here's me, and I've got a course which is $75 per month. And you come along here and you say, $75, that's ridiculous, I can't afford to pay $75. But then I can say, well actually, instead of you paying $75, what if you deposit $1,000 for 6 months? But then after the 6 months, I will give you that $1,000 back with no risk. But you might think, well that's fantastic for this person who's paid $0, but what about me selling the course? Well actually, in the time that money was staked, if I'm given 10%, then I'm actually making $100 a month. Now you might think that's fantastic, but where's the money coming from? Well actually, if these people over here at Terra are able to make maybe 12 to even 20%, depending on what they're going to make, they're going to profit on top of that. So I'm making $100, but actually they're also making $100. But at the same time, you're literally getting things for free. So in fact, it's a fantastic way of thinking about money, and if the concept works, it could be brilliant. Now the way they actually make the returns from doing this is through something called yield farming. Now yield farming is a practice of staking or lending crypto assets in order to generate high returns or rewards in the form of additional cryptocurrency. Now with typical coins, this can be really high risk. If the price spikes too high up or too high down, you can lose your money. But with a stable coin, it's so stable that that risk doesn't really apply. Of course, there are risks with things like security and the network getting hacked, but hopefully that just won't happen. And that's why I'm not investing a large sum of money. So if we take a look at the Pylon Gateway website, you can see here's the different projects that they're launching on the platform. So you've got one here called Terra World, you've got one called Loop, and under these you can see different pools that you can invest in with the returns and the investing period. So 18 months, 12 months, or 6 months. But the one I'm interested in and the one I'm investing in is mine. So if we take a look at mine, this is how it works. And this is their native token for the protocol. So here you can choose how much you want to invest and the period you want to invest for. So there's different kind of pools that lock you up for different time periods. So the first option is 18 months. You can claim the rewards after 9 months and the APR is 140%. Pool 2 is 12 months, claim the rewards after 6 with 100% APR. Pool 3 is 6 months, but you can claim the rewards after 3 months, but the APR is only 50%. Now this APR, as more people invest in the project, it is going to come down. It was much higher. I saw it at least 300%, and I think it's been much higher in the past. And as you can see, as more people invest and the tokens are distributed, that is what's going to come down. So I have chose to go for pool 1 because really I want those high returns and I'm willing to take that risk. And it's worth mentioning, I've actually done 2 things here. So this is the first. So I've invested in this pool in this way. So we scroll down, you can see here, I've invested 1,997 USDT, which is $2,000 minus the fee, and so far I've gained 23 mine tokens. Now of course I can't claim these rewards at the moment, I've got to wait. But after this time period ends, I'm actually going to be able to withdraw my 2,000 USD again. So in fact, I'm actually keeping the money that I invested and I'm going to be left with this mine token. Now the second option I've done here is I've actually bought some mine tokens in the hope that the price is going to go up, and I've staked it. So on here you can actually add some mine tokens along with the UST and you can create this LP. And I've staked 10 and that's generating me a return of 109%, and I can withdraw that at any time. Now this is much more high risk, but I believe that the token's going to go up, so I'm willing to take that risk. And this one has netted me 16 at the moment. So between these so far, I set this up last night and I've had 16 mine, and I've also had 24. So I set this up last night, and in essence, between the two, I've made 40 mine tokens, times that by the current price, which is 19 cents. And so far I have made $7.6 in less than 24 hours. So you can just see how big this could be. And let me just show you something else which is completely crazy and blows my mind, but if it worked, it could be fantastic. So at the end of the 18 months, I'm going to be able to withdraw this 1,997. It'll have cost me about $5 by the time the fees come out. So let's say I get that money back. Well, in that time, let's say the rate comes down and maybe I'm able to achieve $2,000 worth of this token. Well, the current price is 0.19, but if we look at projects in the past that have offered this same kind of return, like PancakeSwap, which I'm not saying it's going to do the same, but if it did, it would be phenomenal. So the current price of PancakeSwap is $18. If that went up to be worth $10 a token, which it probably won't, let's be honest, but if it did, that would be times 50. So the possible return could be $100,000 for an investment of $2,000. That is probably not going to happen, but if it did, it would be phenomenal. So I'm essentially going to leave all of this money in for 18 months and I'll see how it goes. But let me just tell you exactly how I did it. Now, I'm sure there's going to be someone out there that's going to say there's a much easier way of doing this, but this is the way I found it was really simple. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go over and install Terra Station in Chrome, and that's going to add an extension to your browser which acts as a little wallet. Then you're going to need to go over to station.terra.money, and this is where that browser extension connects to. And what I did on here, I clicked on connect and I actually downloaded the desktop version. So all you're essentially trying to do is get your crypto into this wallet that you can then deposit into the platform. So on the desktop app, this bit did get a little bit confusing and I had to work it out, but it's not really at all. So what you need to do here is you need to send your token across to your address, which will be mentioned at the top. Now you might think on your wallet, you need to add these different tokens, but you don't. You just need to deposit Luna into this and that's all it takes. So to buy Luna in the first place, I used crypto.com. The fee is usually 2.99%, which is astronomical to buy with a debit card. But for the first 30 days, you actually can buy it with a 0% fee. So I bought Luna token on the crypto app and I'll show you this on the screen now. So I bought the token and it cost me $0. I did have to go on the phone on hold for an hour to the bank to get it approved because of course it's crypto and banks hate crypto at the moment. But once that was approved, it went through straight away. So I bought the coin and then all you're doing is withdrawing it on that platform to your wallet. And that's the address I mentioned a minute ago that was at the top of the screen. Now when it gets onto this Terra Station, you're going to need to swap it. So you're going to click on swap and you're going to swap your Luna for UST. So whatever you've got available, you're going to swap it across. Now this did charge me a fee and my fee was about $53, but that was on $15,000. So the fee was kind of negligible. And then once that's gone across and you've got that in UST, when you come back across to the Pylon Protocol, you're just going to come across and you can see your wallet at the top and how much you've got. For example, in my wallet now, I've only got 1.5 UST left. So all I would do is go into here, I'd click the max amount available because that's what I want to deposit, or set your amount, and just click on deposit, and then it'll bring up this window telling you the terms and the fees, and you just confirm the deposit. Now, the other option was a little bit more complicated. On that one, you're going to have to go onto this page, which is app.pylon.money. First, you're going to need to convert some UST into mine, so you're buying some of the tokens. You then need to go onto this option, which is a liquidity pool. And on here, you need to convert some mine and some UST into LP. Once you've got the LP, you just go onto stake and deposit the LP into here. And then you can see your reward and your APR. And that is literally it. Then you can just sit back and watch those tokens stack up. Now, as I mentioned, this by any means is not low risk. It is easy to do and it's easy to just leave it and watch it happen, but just remember this is not a really stable long-term investment. You can try this for fun if you want to, like I am. I'm really hoping that I'm going to make some fantastic returns. I'm expecting to at least double my money with this project. Over the next few months, I'm going to be trying some more projects like this. I've tried another one which I'll show you soon, just because I'm in a position where I can afford to take some risk and see where things go. Of course, without risk, there's no reward, but just risk sensibly. So I hope this was useful. If it was, do check out some more videos, which will also be really helpful. Soon, I'm going to do an update on my whole plan and where I'm at and what I'm trying to achieve, and that'll probably be my next video. So yeah, stick around. Thanks, guys.